I think men are like, we're so materialistic. Not really, because on the male side, a woman can be a very sweet lady, but if God didn't give her the things that we're looking for, we won't give her any sexual attention at all. And like, that's just terrible. That's not fair either.
Yeah, I will say, even like nowadays you hear a lot about like, oh, women want a guy that's 6 foot or earns this much. A lot of the times, once they're actually like in front of the like someone who's maybe a little bit above average, not like crazy out of this world, because like the likelihood of you getting someone who makes 300K and is 6'2" and is like all these things is like super slim.
What's going on, guys? Salams, peace and blessings upon you. Welcome to episode 55. What already of the Thoughtful Banter podcast. I'm your host Matty, along here with my co-host Hussein.
Yes, sir.
And man, crazy episode 55. We're reading another Reddit story. Let's get right into this. This is a interesting story. We try to always bring you guys something that is, something Hussein. Actually, I've read the last two stories, I think. Can you give us a shot and read this one? Because I was listening back to the episode where I was reading, and I'd be stuttering it up.
I mean, I stutter on these things too, because some of them are not written that well. But anyways, also sometimes I just mess up. But sure. So just jumping right in, it goes. This is the famous Muslim Reddit. But anyways, I'm not sure if I should marry him is the title of the post. It said, I, 24-year-old female, have been engaged to my fiance, 31-year-old male, for more than a year now. He's a really good guy, but I have absolutely no feelings for him. This wasn't an arranged marriage, but since the beginning of when we started getting to know each other, my family has continuously stated their opinions and added a lot of pressure, which caused me to think negatively about the relationship. After confronting them and telling them how much anxiety their pressure is causing me, they stopped talking about it as much. My fiance and I can go days without talking / feeling the need to speak with each other or check in. We don't talk on the phone and we live in different cities, so we barely see each other. We used to live in the same city and used to see each other often, but I ended up having to move. Even when we did hang out weekly, although I used to have a good time, I never felt any romantic feelings towards him. I kept giving myself the excuse that we need more time and maybe those feelings will bloom. Since he's a good guy, we're similar and he is respectful, but nothing happened. I have been feeling very guilty about dragging this relationship out, but it feels like we are in a cycle of simply not putting effort into the relationship, and I feel mentally checked out. I'm very scared to leave for two main reasons. One, it's difficult to meet Muslim men with the way/place I'm living. And two, I have seen very bad marriages within my families, and I'm scared to disappoint my family member who is scared the same thing that happened to her will happen to me. I have been praying istikhara daily for more than a month, and I'm still not sure what to do. There's more that I haven't concluded, more that I haven't included, but I feel these are the main points. If anyone has had a similar experience or has advice, I would truly appreciate it. Jazakallah khair.
The istikhara red flags. I have to pause here. People use istikhara the wrong way all of the time. I have read stories on here, people using it wrong. I know people who have told me things have happened to them where someone used it wrong. Istikhara is not meant to be like this thing. Like, it's not like I can make istikhara and God's literally taking my hand and show me where to go. If that were the case, there would be no reason for a rationale, right? We'd just always do istikhara. I'm just putting that out there. Like, istikhara is meant to be used whenever you cannot find an answer using every single logical avenue possible. Research, advice, etc.
And even then, it's not necessarily, even when you're in that scenario and you're like literally a 50-50 coin flip, which is when they say you should use it, whatever outcome you get is not necessarily some kind of peek into ilm al-ghayb, and God is like giving you like, hey, it's this one, this is the right one for you. At least that's some people believe that, but the opinion of many scholars, including Sayyid Sistani, Allama Tabatabai, is that it's not really any kind of like guidance from behind the veil.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that you won't get something good from it. It's meant to make you make a decision, because sometimes in life, it's the most dangerous thing is not making a decision versus making a decision. What are your thoughts?
Little rant aside.
Yeah.
I read it. You give me your thoughts.
Okay,
first.
sorry. I just thought you may want to go because I just cut in and ramble. I think we both probably share the same opinion here. Probably a little bit controversial in terms of what the general public would say, But I would say, you know, if this sister hasn't been in a relationship before, you know, if she hasn't been in a relationship before, if she's a virgin and like doesn't know anything and just completely innocent in this case, and everything that she sees on paper about the brother is telling her that he's a good guy, he hasn't seen any red flags of abuse upcoming, I would say marry him, because those of us who are innocent, who have not been scarred by life, are very naive to how dark and how evil people can truly be. And it's really hard to find someone who's just simple and good all the time in life. So when that person comes along, I'd say hold on to them.
I actually don't have the same opinion. So I don't think my answer is not she should marry him or she should not marry him. I think there's still some more investigation that needs to be done, basically, is my answer. Because I feel like once you've done the non-emotional vetting of like, this person has similar values, they value their religion as much as me, we're compatible like personality-wise, then there are things like, okay, how does this person act when they're upset? How does this person act with their friends? How does this person act with their family? I don't know if she's seen all that, but it sounds like if you're not really communicating all that much and you're not even pressed to communicate with someone all that much, it sounds like that kind of connection hasn't really been formed. And if you've been talking for a year and you're still like, she said we can go home. I'm trying to find it. We don't talk on the phone, so we barely see each other. We can go days without talking / feeling the need to speak with each other or check in. Not like,
yeah, or check in is crazy.
That's a little, after a year of talking, that's a little like, So either you don't have as much information as you think you do, and so there's not sufficient information to make a decision one way or the other, or or something is being hidden. I'm not sure. I don't want to assume that something's being hidden. But like, that's weird. Is this? I mean, she hasn't given any.
But one of the best
details.
comments here is, you know, he's not mahram, she's not mahram. So like, besides the practical aspects of the relationship, which I'm hoping they've already discussed, the only other part is the attraction, and that's really what's being said here. And like, if he's, you know, sounds like they're both religious. I think a 1 year long engagement is honestly too long, because what can happen is, like, if you're in this dynamic where you want to get to know someone, right? But you want it to keep a halal. Either two things happen with really long engagement periods. One, people slip into haram, or two, because you've been halal for so long, you forget you got that dog in you. And I think that's what could be happening here, to be quite honest. Like, they put they put a bucket of water on the fire.
Yeah.
And, you know, the relationship between the husband and wife is not meant to be that. And inshallah, like, that's the plan. They're trying to become a husband and wife. So it's like, this is a problem with super long engagement periods, in my opinion. I just hope, like, that's being kept in mind. I'm sure if the brother is interested in her, he's just holding himself back for those kinds of stuff. And she probably is too. But for men, it's a little bit different.
So what's their recourse?
I say, bro, you're 24. Get married. And, like, I mean, again, like, this is, like, my advice. This is a Reddit post. Like, there's so much I don't know. But, like, assuming she's done her due diligence, they've gone through the 100 questions. She's, like, you know, they've asked each other questions like, who's going to be working, who's going to be taking care of the kids, what are we going to do with our kids, how are we going to raise them in an Islamic household, yada, 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 yada. If everything matches, but the only thing is you don't feel a spark, get married and you'll find a spark.
Maybe.
A spark will be waiting,
or you might find a like an explosion. You get
an
married,
explosion?
You get married, you find
More
out
better.
You get married, you find out this guy has no emotional regulation.
Bro, like, if they've been engaged for a year, there's no way she doesn't know that. That's how I'm saying. If she's done her due diligence, you don't have to be a mahram to know if someone doesn't have emotional regulation skills.
I mean, that's true, but a lot of people aren't adept enough to actually pick that up unless they see it in front of their eyes.
Then she'll never catch it then. If that's the case, because she, you know what I'm saying? That's also the thing. It's like,
yeah, you also have to understand though, like these marriages, especially if they're from like our Muslim brothers. Once I'm in it, I have no right to divorce. So like, if I am married to a nutcase, then like I can't divorce myself from this person. And so like these are also realities that need to be factored into this decision too. If it's strictly attraction, I agree with you. That is going to solve itself.
So you don't think this is strictly attraction?
But if it's something that's like, you know, like for example, this comment talks about like he's not mahram and he's not showing you his feelings because you're not his mahram, stuff like that, and there's actually a problem there, then that would be a reason not to do something.
Let me reread this post, bro. I'm reading her edit. Thank you to everyone who commented. I appreciate hearing your opinions. I want to add a little note based on some comments. I know that it's best not to be in love with someone before marriage, but on my end, I don't feel anything at all towards him. We have spoken about this, and he knows how I'm feeling and is satisfied with how the relationship is going. So I feel like we might just have different expectations.
And that's a huge, like, I feel like we might just have different expectations. After a year, how do you not know what the expectations are, one? And two, if you don't know what those expectations are, that might be something to know before jumping into it. Which is why this is not necessarily a, hey, leave them. But this is also not for me like a go.
I see. So maybe I should back off from my go. I also don't think necessarily, I mean, I'm also like, does he just need to be rizzing her up more? You know,
but how is he gonna do that? He not mad around.
You can halali riz. You know, you can stoke the flames. There's an art. There's an art to halal rizz.
Stoke the flames is crazy.
Yeah, stoke the flames is a little inappropriate. I apologize. But there's an art to halal rizz, man. The Prophet, you know, like we literally have hadith book about halal rizz, bro. The Prophet had halal rizz, peace be upon him.
Just don't continue.
I won't continue. I'm just saying, like, you know, get her gifts. Write her poetry or something. Like, those are all things that are halal, but they're stoking the flames. So it's kind of like,
what are you writing in that poetry, Andy?
How they want to be together.
Okay, I mean,
you can keep it. There's a barrier.
No, you're right. You're right.
I'll stop.
You're right. There is
stop.
like a halal version of that. You're right. You're right.
And I'm not. Of course, that
you
can
be within the bounds.
That's why I said long engagement periods, I think, are kind of stupid. Like hear, I haven't. Okay, I'll say this. I don't know a single person who's been engaged for 2 years and then ended up getting married,
or had like a successful marriage.
Yeah, no. It's always like, they're engaged, mashallah, 1 year, 2 year. I'm like, you'll be engaged for 6 years? Oh, we're not together. When that happen?
Sometime during those 6 years.
Yeah. So I don't know, brother. You might be. Well, in general, you're more knowledgeable than me, but
not really.
Hey, you said it, not
also,
me.
he says, she says, I feel nothing towards him.
Nothing is
Dog,
a little crazy.
Nothing?
Nothing is a little crazy.
When we're together, I feel nothing. Bro, I feel like a tingle in my chest when I'm with my boy, bro.
Dan. You know, the feelings for the boys is immaculate, certainly. So feeling nothing is a little red flaggy.
That's what I'm
saying. And him being like, so I'm wondering, she doesn't say if he feels nothing. She said he feels satisfied.
Yeah.
So he just boring?
Maybe he's just boring, bro.
Really?
I have no idea.
He's just like, man, being next to a woman is great. Like,
he's just a simple dude.
It's just a simple dude. Yeah. I will say this. Not to say we know anything. But like, if she doesn't make peace with this thing, she shouldn't get married. So It's not a matter of like,
agreed.
Oh, she needs to start feeling flames. But if she's not able to make peace with that, she shouldn't get married because she will resent him. And she might just end up realizing, my husband's a really boring dude. And
honestly, it sounds like she's not attracted to him. Like,
let's be red pill. Let's get down to it.
It just sounds like she's not attracted.
She's not attracted.
Whether it be his personality or his physical like appearance, for whatever reason, I don't think she mentions it here. She just says he's a good guy.
Yeah, she's not attracted.
It just doesn't sound like
if she was attracted, she would have said he's a great guy. Let's be honest, Dad. If he had that Toji Dorito chip frame,
Dorito
the wide
chip
shoulder. If it's the same
crazy.
guy with the wide
Triangle.
with the wide shoulders, she's like, oh my god, he's a great guy. Can't wait for this engagement period to be over. But yeah, it sounds like she's not attracted to him.
Yeah, like just straight up. It sounds like.
And a year's enough time for her to judge your riz. I mean, inshallah, the brother improves it, but a year is already kind of too late.
I mean, I'm a big believer in that. Like, again, if that's the only issue, then a lot of that stuff can come.
Yeah, bro.
A lot of that stuff can come.
Can definitely come.
But
arranged marriages have been running the world for years, way
the,
longer than us picking our spouses. Like arranged
that's true. That's true. I mean, at the same time, if there's like no attraction, I don't know.
I mean, I think you want to know. This is an interesting conversation right here. We're about to get really interesting. I have a question for you. Do you think men or women are more shallow when it comes to attraction?
In general, like on average, probably men. But society is changing, and so some of that is changing a little bit as well. I think you do have some women who are like, if he's not this, he's not that, he's not that, I'm just not even going to consider it. That is the thing. But I think on average, it's probably more like as far as physical attraction. Like I think men typically are more focused on that than women are. And like a woman is probably more likely to be like, oh, yeah, his beard doesn't connect and he's not 6 foot, but he's this way, he's that way. So I'll like let those things slide. Whereas a dude will be like, hey, I want this, and that. And if you don't have all of this
and more,
and if you don't have all of this, I'm not with it. Or maybe the threshold for like passing that, like, going with that option is like a lot lower than a woman's on average. Again, there are exceptions here and there.
I think I agree mostly, and I think I would phrase what you said this way. You know, it's not a matter of like I kind of tricked you with the question. You know, it's just like an interesting way to phrase things.
Question.
Who's more shallow? But I think at the end of the day, it comes down to this. Men. What women are attracted to in men are things that are more within our control. Okay? So, success,
status.
Success and status before how any man looks.
Yeah, I agree.
Any woman who doesn't
doesn't
know herself most of the time.
In general, yeah.
She's going to pick Elon Musk over this 18-year-old who has a six-pack. Because a six-pack can't buy nothing.
I mean, bad example, but I get your point.
No, like, I think it's a great example. It's like, yeah, he's good looking. He is broke. He's hot in that moment.
I mean, it depends on the age of the person.
But there's no status.
It depends on the age of the girl, too.
Yeah, but even the age of girl, like,
and there are other things to, like, yuck at Elon Musk about besides his...
No, but I'm saying, like, I'm just making, like, a very simple, like...
Yeah, I just don't think it's good, like, but you continue.
Okay, well, just take status and money.
If you have say you have two 25-year-old dudes.
Yeah.
One of them has a really good job that pays him $150K and is uglier than the one that has a worse job that pays him $30K, but he's in the gym a lot. Most women are going to choose the dude who has a $150K job over the one that has a $30K job. Mm-hmm. Even a $60K job.
Yeah.
Yeah. That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like 100%. It's not binary, right? Like ultimately, if you're a jerk and you're one of those things, the jerk isn't probably going to win.
Yeah.
You know,
assuming everything else is equal.
You also have to have some riz, bro.
Assuming everything else is equal besides like the status.
Yeah, like if you're just completely crazy, like, but you need to have riz.
Besides the status and the looks.
Yeah, you need to have personality, riz.
Yeah.
Nothing makes a... But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. So I was just saying, like, I think, like...
That's the thoughtful banter, bro.
Yeah, that's the thoughtful banter. I guess you're right. I'm just saying, like, I think that that's something men have to know. And, like, I think men are like, we're so materialistic. Not really, because on the male side, a woman can be a very sweet lady, but if God didn't give her the things that we're looking for, we won't give her any sexual attention at all. And, like, that's just terrible. That's not fair either.
Yeah. I will say, even like nowadays you hear a lot about like, oh, women want a guy that's 6 foot or earns this much. A lot of the times once they're actually like in front of the like someone who's maybe a little bit above average, not like crazy out of this world. Because like the likelihood of you getting someone who makes 300K and is 6'2" and is like all these things is like super slim.
It's like less than one. It's like less than 0.5%. Like
yeah.
You know.
So I think even some women who have, you know, who think they have standards like that, once they meet someone who's like maybe slightly above the average instead of way above the average, they actually come down to earth and are like, all right, let me this guy's great, you know.
Yeah, like when you're connected to reality, I forget the statistics. Like, just the percentage of men who have visible abs is so low.
Interesting.
Like, there's more. You have a higher chance of being a millionaire than having a six pack.
I think it's like 14.
I get you.
14% of like, I don't know if this is a global population or American population, but either one of those 14% of men are 6 foot plus. 14%.
Only 8% of men in the United States have visible six packs.
Yeah, I mean,
it's 8%, and then you take on the other statistics like height, money.
yeah,
you know?
it just gets you getting smaller.
Yeah, that's why like everyone wants to be like Batman, right? Like, that's the archetype. He's got everything. But the point is like the advantage, like it's hard on both ends, right? I think, but the advantage of being a man, I think truly like men have it easier if men have stoicism, right? If you're just able to, men have it easier if we're able to be stoic. Like the men who are like, oh, no girls like me because I'm ugly. Everything a woman doesn't like about you, you can improve.
Mm-hmm.
If a woman is just ugly, deemed ugly by society, rip. I hope you find a guy who's merciful enough and kind enough and can look past your ailments, because most men won't. Like, she is just like, this is just like the thing. And men act like feminism came out of nowhere.
Where does the
Sorry, I'll have that thoughtful banter. Men act like feminism blossomed out of nowhere, like you like to say. This is like a great example of that. Like, women are pretty much up to like the mercy of men. Anyways, the broader point, I'm not quite sure. I think maybe I was more thinking like to this brother, right? Like if he wants to riz her up, like I think there's...
Stop saying riz unironically, brother.
Why? It's a word, bro. Check it. It's in the dictionary.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, bro. Keep up the times, boomer. I think that like he had a chance, you know, like, and like I just want the other brothers out there to know, like, yo, you got a chance, you know, like there's chance for risen, there's chance for moves to be made, bro. Like, you're not determined like XYZ, but like you had a year, you couldn't make it work. Rip. Yeah.
So I guess final conclusion on this, I'd say it's for me it's leaning a no, but requires more investigation ultimately. I'm
leaning towards I need my man to make a change.
I'm saying,
and he'll make an update post like, I don't know what happened, but I have so many feelings towards him. It's like, he watched this episode.
No, I'm just thinking like, how dry is the conversation?
That must be so dry, bro.
It must be so dry. like it must be so dry. I don't know, bro. Because you can even have a conversation with someone you're not physically attracted to and still have a good conversation.
Yeah, right? And like enjoy your time with them.
And yeah, exactly.
Man, it must be super boring.
I don't know.
Maybe
either that or she's boring.
Yeah, like they have completely different interests.
Yeah.
Like if people have different interests, are boring. Like I remember. Yeah, like if you're talking, this is like probably like a sexist like example. I'm sure I'm only talking like from actually like my own experience though. Like if you're talking to a girl, and like you ask her what does she like to do, or anybody, it applies to anybody. If you're talking to someone, what do they like to do, and they say nothing, and then you're like, no, really, and they're like, I like to hang out with friends and go shopping, like, and you're not that person, you're gonna die.
Yeah, there's also those kind of differences too. Yeah,
it's like, dude, we have nothing to speak about.
Yeah,
at all. You know, so yeah.
Or just like airheaded individuals, like, oh, you know, I just be
vibing,
but like, I be vibing too. But it's just like,
you know, vibe how most people interpret vibing.
I guess
honestly, like, bro, let's be honest. When if I hear vibing, I hear I'm wasting my time. Like, you're a different guy, but most people, I'm vibing. It's like, what have you done in the last 2 years? I had a summer job. I'm smoking weed. I'm chilling. I was reading about meditation.
Yeah.
And I was journaling about that. And I think I'm going to keep doing it. It's like, yeah, I was vibing big time, bro.
Yeah. They're these kind of personalities. Final conclusion, like final yes, no, more information.
Riz up.
Riz up.
Riz up, gang.
Riz up, gang.
That's my conclusion.
Okay, there we go. Riz up.